Hey guys, it's Tarek with Cyclone FPV, and I'm doing an actual real quick video today. I just finished up the final version of the Diablo-M220CK.v1, the version 1. This, excuse me, this is our newest frame, one of our newest frames. I'll be presenting quite a few more, but for right now I'm just going to present this one only for building purposes. I know that we can send manuals and whatever else, but I thought that this would be a great way to accompany the building process. You'll be able to watch this video and kind of get an idea of how to put it together once it arrives at your place. So right now on the table here, as you can see, are all the parts for the the M220CK version 1. And this is this version features, like all our quads now, will feature for the M, which stands for modular. So you're gonna have here. Let me try this and see if I can. There, let's just do it like that. Okay, so you're going to start seeing on a website, on the CycloneFPV.com, I'm going to be adding and updating the website, and there's going to be quite a few changes to our frames. The first change is, and I'm taking this from listening to a lot of our customers and trying to make changes to better accommodate y'all. You know that our frames come with a limited lifetime warranty, and what those warranties mean are basically that over the life of the quad, you get 5 replacements at no charge for the quad itself during damage or what have you. And how that works basically is that you will we send you a quad. I don't know, you crash it, you do whatever, as long as it's normal use. You're not doing anything weird like trying to test how hard it can hit a bridge. You basically let us know. You send back your frame. We send you a brand new one. You can do that 5 times. Well, there are those customers out there that really, they're not worried about it, or they want to get the frames in, our frames in, cheaper. And so after thinking about it, one of the things that we had decided was, one of the things I looked over and asked about was, does the lifetime warranty, does the limited lifetime warranty matter to everybody? Meaning, how realistic is it the frame's going to break? And if it's a modular frame, like where you have separate arms like this one here, I wish I could do picture in picture. Let me see if I can get a picture in picture here. So picture in picture, and then we'll go this and this. There, that'll be better. All right, so like here where you have separate arms, these are going to be the modular versions. And so you're going to have like a Diablo, and then the model numbers have changed a little bit to accommodate the new modular version. So if you have a U220CK, that means it's a unibody version. If you have an M220CK, it means it's a modular version. Same frames, just separated and cut in certain areas to make it modular or to make it unibody. I prefer unibody frames for most of my flights, so I go with unibody. A lot of people want to be able to swap out the arms if they break, and they go with modular. In either case, one of the things I came up with was, well, if there are people that do not want the lifetime warranty, meaning, hey, I can reduce the calculated risk and the calculated replacement costs, then what I've done is I've said, okay, the frames are made with high quality carbon fiber, so I have no fear in them lasting. What I thought was, we were going to reduce the price of the frames to accommodate 2 things that people have asked about. The first one being the warranty. You will receive a standard warranty, there will be a full description today. After this video, I'm going to go and type it all up on the page. But a standard warranty meaning from defects. If you break it, you buy another one. You can buy the replacement part. You will get a discount on them, obviously, but it won't be warranted in the sense of accidental breaks. Which to most people, if you're talking about an arm like something like this one, they're not going to be very expensive at all, so it may not matter to y'all. So what I've decided to, the second thing though, was I put a lot of hours into hand sanding, hand buffing, and doing a lot more hand work. I do 25% machine work and 75% hand work. And so they said, well, look, it takes 1 to 2 weeks to get a frame out from you. Can we do them faster? And I said, yeah, I can, to accommodate everybody. What I can do is I can cut down on the hand work and machine cut it, a quick sand and buffing, really quick, meaning probably about 30 minutes max versus 4 hours. Frame's going to be the integrity is still going to be just as great. It's just a matter of, I put a lot of passion into the frames. So, to me, I want something that is 100% hand done, 75% of the time being hand done, that is. But it's not necessary for y'all, and I totally respect that. So here's what I've come up with. The frame is $99 online, but if you go right now, you can, but understand I have to update the site. The frames are actually going to be dropped $30. And what that's going to do is it's going to be split into 2 $15 charges. One $15 charge, you can add the limited lifetime warranty for $15. and you can add the additional hand finish of the product for 15 bucks. So if you want the frame and you're not worried about the extended warranty or the the hours put into hand finishing it, then you're talking about a $30 savings, so $69 instead. If you want one of those options, if you want both of those options, you can add them, one for 15, two for 30, and that's it. Then it's 99 bucks like it normally was. But this way, I'm hopefully making it more affordable and also accommodating some of the things you've asked for. That's my little blurb on that. So look to see those updates within the next hour. I just wanted to get this out first because I need to ship this frame out. Another thing that I want to go over is one last change that I did make for all you folks running the mini stacks or the micro stacks, or whatever you want to call them, the 20 millimeter stacks. I went ahead and changed the plate. You can see it here, and I'm sure you can see it on the camera above. I changed the plate to accommodate holes, 30 millimeter holes like normal, which is right here, right, 30.5. And then I added 20 millimeter holes here. So you can actually, this plate, and you'll see it in the assembly process, this plate actually bolts into the bottom of the frame. So now you can add your mini stack or you can add your full stack. However you want to do it, it's got room for all the components. So that was a last minute change that I did today. And these parts are ready to go. This is actually going out to Josh today. And so I'm going to build it real quickly, and you guys can see how it works. You can see all the parts sitting in front of me here. And I'll try to give you a better angle here now. So let's see if I go this way and minimize my ugly mug here. 1 second, and I will make this to where it'll fit. Now I cannot see any comments right now, guys. I don't have my phone in front of me to see them, so I apologize. I cannot respond right now, but I will come back and catch up later. But let's get started with this, okay? The first thing to show you is our arm lock technology. Now this is our arm lock design. This is a trademark design. It is has been turned in for full trademark to our company, and it involves something like this. So on the design, I'm sure many of you have seen this, what we have done is come up with the basically like a puzzle. And in doing that, you will lock your arms together. I think if I can zoom in here, you can see it a little bit better. But as you can see here, the arms will act, and they're very tight. It's not a loose fit by any means, but they will lock in. And when you get this quad, usually I will try to ship frames assembled, but they're starting to get bigger and bigger, and so I really can't do that as much. But you'll probably be able to get to this point without doing too much else, but you've got to get them hammered down. So what I'll do is I'll take like a screwdriver handle or something like that, and I'll just pound it in, or you could take a mallet or what have you. And what will happen is at that point they'll lock in, and you'll have your stuff ready to go. When you go to line it up with your frame, you'll notice that the 3 holes here will match the 3 holes here. You'll line it up and you'll bolt it in accordingly. So the step 1 of this entire process is going to be assembling your arms. In this case, the arms are identical. So they are matching whether they're, now there is a difference between front left and rear right will be the same, and front right and rear left will be the same. So you can interchange these as you wish. You just cannot go front left and front right. That's not going to work, okay, because of the locking. So again, you will take your arms, put them together as best as you can, and then you're not going to damage the carbon fiber at all. So just, kind of just knock it in there, and then all of a sudden they're going to start locking into place properly, okay? And that's all you're going to do for step 1. So once you're done with that, you can go ahead and set it aside. All right, now the next step is going to be to actually start putting in the frames and putting the arms onto the frame. And you're going to notice you've got 2 sides to this frame. You've got the side that's got the recessed or the sunk in screw head areas, and then you've got the side that's flat. This is obviously going to be the part that faces up, and your arms are going to go underneath. So let me zoom out a little bit, and I'll kind of give you an idea of how this is going to happen. Now, if you get a quad from me, you're going to notice that your screws are all going to have colors on them. So if I zoom in again, sorry, you're going to see this is a red screw, okay? It's got, and this is something I do by hand. I color every screw in my bin here, and here's my bin, and then I've got a few thousand more, but I hand color them all, and they're colored to match a size. So silver is going to be 8 millimeter. Red is actually 12 millimeter. Oh, that one, the colors come off a little bit. Red is 12 millimeter, all right? Yellow is 16 millimeter, and green is 14 millimeter. So when you get this together, you're going to be able to match up the screws by knowing 14 millimeter goes here and so forth, or I may just say yellow screw goes here. These, as you can see though, if you look at this screw, the red's kind of coming off. All you do is take an alcohol wipe or a little goof on or goof off, whatever you call it, and it'll come off. So let's get to mounting the, let's get to assembling this first. So like I said, the recessed area is going up, so you're gonna put the arms on the other side. So I would start by laying your arms out, and you're gonna see them line up to the holes here. All right, so if I can show you that. So you've got the arms lined up, right? And you can see right through, I think you can see the sticker through. Okay, so start by flipping it over, and you're gonna take your 12mm red screw, and you're gonna pop it through onto the arm. Now, these holes are very tight, so don't expect the screws the first time to just drop through. You may have to actually turn it with your tools. So just hang tight there and have patience. Now, another thing is they will not drop into the countersunk hole like this. That countersunk hole is super tight. The reason I did that is I want you to be able to tighten the screw without having to hold the hex bit in the top. So I'll give you an example. So you put the screw in, right? And then you go ahead and you put on the lock nut, which is going to come with it, okay? And usually you go ahead and just put all the screws in just to make sure everything's lined up properly. So you got one more there, and you've got one more there. Now you will not put any screw on these two holes, because you're actually going to send the screw upwards, and it's going to fasten to the standoff. So here's what you've got right now, right? So now you'll flip it over, and you'll take your what is this called, little socket wrench here, and you start tightening, right? Now I've got that countersunk screw so tight, or the hole so narrow, that I don't have to hold the hex bit anymore, but you can see now the screw has now countersunk itself. So you're basically going to pull it through. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the next one, and I would do it like a tire, like a lug nut on a tire, just go across. So I just keep my finger on the top here, and let me zoom out now. I keep my finger on the top here, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and start tightening it down, and at some point you're going to feel it kind of get flush, and then you can just let go and just tighten. Don't kill it, but tighten. It's gonna protrude just barely past the lock nut washer, or the lock nut, okay? So get them about even, there you go. Now you can go ahead with your next one, put the lock nut on there, and again, you'll just start the process, and you'll feel it tighten up, right? And at that point, you can start seeing it just kind of go flush and countersunk, and then when you get good comfortable, that's it. You don't need to kill it, like I said. These arms are going to be solid. The locking feature, the arm lock feature, is going to keep them in place, and instead of using just two screws, we are using 3 M3 screws. So I mean, you've got some serious strength holding these in place, okay? So this is going to be step 2. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump over now and do the next set of arms. Same concept, same idea, and in this case, let's make sure we're set. So they should line up, and what you're going to see when they line up is on this particular fit, you've got these, and you'll notice them up here. There's like this little indentation on the arm. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in because I know it's the same color, but you'll see where, well, you may not see it there. Right here, you can see where it kind of indents in. This is because it needs to fit around the screw that you're going to put in here. But it's located on both arms. That way you can use them, you can interchange them. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab our red screws, which is our 12mm screws, and we're going to put them in the countersunk hole cutouts, right? And like I said, this is a very tight fit, so you may want to turn them a little bit to get them to go through all the way. Let me get that done for you, and I'll zoom out because I know I'm a little close here. So let me zoom out. All right, and you can start with the. I didn't put more of these. Let me get more of these here. You can start with the lock nut if you want, just to kind of hold the screw from falling out, but just don't tighten it until you get all the screws in. So there's one. Knock this one out. That's 2. All right, and then we're going to go for 3 and 4. Right here. 3 and 4, and then we'll put the lock nuts on those 2. Sorry, my fat nuggets here don't hold these very well. I think I did better when I was about 30 pounds lighter, but hey, it happens. All right, so we're back at the same spot, so we're just going to go ahead and tighten these down. and it's going to pull that screw down there to be flush and countersunk. Actually, it'll be countersunk a little bit. We'll be a little bit lower than flush. Let's go ahead and tighten this down, and then we'll do another one. All right, and then the last one. So now that this is done, right, what you're going to do next is, now you're going to assemble your frame however you, I mean, your components are going to go on here however you want. One of the things that I've done here is, this is your base plate. Now, most of my models are going to have all these now as common. I've included them in some, and in some didn't have them, but I am going to revert to them for all of it. If you're using a 20 millimeter board, now let me see if I can find something like this. Okay, so if you're using a board like, let's say this one, this is the HDLRC, right? So this is an ESC. You can actually assemble your entire build outside of the frame, and then when you're ready, you'll just pop it in, right? So this piece is made to fit right in between, very tight between these two arms. So now what you've got is you've got locked arms, and then you've got this piece to prevent any flexing from coming in, okay? So you can assemble this outside, you can build your frame outside. So if I had done that, and this was sitting, assuming, I'm not gonna put a screw in here right now, but assuming I had, I would basically be able to take this and I guess without it, it wouldn't be moving obviously, but I would be able to pop it fully through and it would still be there. So you can remove your stack without having to take the whole frame apart. It is a nice little feature that I thought, you know, I would present. So anyways, the next thing you're going to do after you've done your build, or however you're going to do it, is if you're going to use a full size, then you need to go ahead and put this plate in next. And in this case, I don't know what screw size you're going to use, but you'll provide those screws because it's for your stack. But for the time being, I'll just show you, like if I used a 12 millimeter M3 screw, and I've got to, these have not been threaded yet, that plate hasn't, so those are brand new cuts. So let me just kind of put this through. So it'll be something like that, all right? And then from there, you figure out, you know, how high you need to be, or if you're going to use nylon or what have you. But this would go in next. I'll leave that in there for now so you can see the final product. I'm only going to put one screw in to hold it, and you can see it's gonna hold pretty good. And if it comes, it's not going to exceed these arm areas to keep them in place. So you should be set. All right. The next thing is going to be to add your standoffs. So you've got standoffs in the back, and you've got standoffs in the front, and you've got standoffs in the middle. The easiest way I found to do this is, let's just go ahead and get started with the front, okay? So on the front, you're going to take your largest standoff, and you're going to take your 14 millimeter screw, you're going to run it through the bottom there, and you're going to go ahead and screw this down, all right? Now, I would just hand tighten it. I wouldn't probably do anything else. Just hand tighten them just to kind of get it going. Let me zoom out again, please. Sorry, okay? And we'll do the next one here. All right. Now, with those on there, I want to show you this next option. So I've drilled you 2 holes here and a sliding area here. These 2 holes, and I should have had this available. I don't know what I've done with my piece, but let me grab one real quick. Where did I put these things? Okay, so those holes are for something like this, right? So let's say you have a camera. Sorry, I know I'm talking off camera. Let's say you have a camera and you want to use your mounting bracket instead. Those are designed to hold this in place here, okay? So this is for a smaller camera, so you will use the center. If you go with a full size mount, like let's say just a regular camera size, then it'll fit across all 3. And then you've got movement to slide it back and forth. However, this frame also comes with, yeah. Yeah. Sorry guys. And so you can also use these plates, which are going to be coming with the quad. They'll pop right in the spot right here. Okay. And these plates have room for your cameras as well, both size cameras, and they've got your angled brackets as well, so you can use your one screw to fasten it and then your other screws so that you can limit your angles. Okay, so you'll put those in once you've got your cameras in, or however you want to do it. Then you've got your top plate here. Your top plate is going to be something we're going to add in just a little bit. I'm just kind of showing you how this would work. So now that you're at this point, you've got to add the standoffs everywhere else. This standoff's right here. are going to come. The screw's going to come from the bottom, and you're going to use your 16 millimeter yellow tip screw, yellow colored screw right there. It's going to go through the bottom, and you're going to fasten it down like this. All right. And then we're going to take the next one, and we're going to do another one over here. Okay, now there's another set that you're going to be doing back here, right here. And we'll put your last one in right here. And again, just hand tighten them down. It doesn't need any power right now. All right. The last pieces are going to go on the back. Now for the back, because we're only going through 4 millimeters and not 8 millimeters, we're actually just going to use an 8 millimeter screw. I think that's going to give, actually, you know what? I'm going to change that. So I think what we'll do is we'll go to a 12 millimeter screw on the bottom, which will be a red based screw like that right there. That should still give us, because the top plate's only 2 millimeters, so that's going to be fine. So we'll use 12 millimeters there. And let me get the next one. Get another red based screw right here. All right. And we'll fasten this down. Okay. So there is your next step basically, which is getting all your standoffs in place. Now, we have this plate to add, which is going to cover our camera. We have our battery plate, which is going to go right here as well. And then we have these spacers, which are 8 millimeter standoffs, which need to go on also. The easiest way I've found to do the standoffs is to, kind of already attach them to the top plate here. That way you're putting it on there, you're not trying to fit it in the process. So what I would normally do, and this is where we're going to see the screw length, because I'm probably going to modify, I think I'll go to a 16 millimeter, and I'll let you know. You'll know when you get the packet, but it'll be, let me go ahead, this was just cut, so these holes are pretty tight here. Let me just get this started, and we'll see if we should be able to get that. It's either going to be, I think a 16 will probably be just fine. So you'll put your 16 millimeter screw here. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the 8 millimeter, we're trying to get it to go through the 8 millimeter, right? And then through the 2 millimeter and into the standoff that's right here. So as long as we are successful with enough room, all right. So I'm going to see how much that leaves us. It may not be enough to my liking here, but we'll see. We may want to go with an 18 by the time I'm done. So let me just get this hole started. All right. It's a pretty good. It should be all right actually. I'll see here. I'm gonna put an 18 in the next one. Like I said, if you end up with a blue, you'll know in the instructions. But I'm just kind of testing to see what would be easier for you guys. So we'll start our next standoff, and see which one is going to be easier to kind of utilize here. And again, I got to start this hole because it is fresh cut, so they have not been threaded. So we'll do something like this. Go ahead and lay this down on here. And I think I'll end up screwing this 18 one all the way down. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of get it fastened to the, just like that. I'm going to push this on there. I'm going to go ahead and lay it on the frame now. And this is how you're going to basically attach the frame from this point. You're just going to go ahead and keep screwing this on through. And it's going to go ahead and push through the battery plate. Right, so let's get this to kind of go through the first hole in the battery plate. And then once it gets through there, you will fasten it down like this. Okay. ahead and place it on here and just keep tightening it down. All right, so while that's on there, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one because I think it was safe to say that we can go with an 18. So let's just go ahead and do that. And the rest of these in the 2mm are just gonna be 8mm screws. And I'll show you that here in just a second. I just gotta get this one off, and we'll change this out with a 18 as well. Normally these holes are cut at let's say 3.6mm. I've now cut them down to 3.2mm, and because of the difference in the size of the screws, the width wise, they're going to be a really tight fit, so that takes out even more movement. So let me go ahead and put this in and get this 8mm standoff started. Yeah, so that'll be a change to 18. That'll actually be a very solid fit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get that, and you may want to just like put your finger there, stop the standoffs from spinning, but it's going to catch pretty good anyway. And then once you get through the battery plate, you will end up grabbing a hold onto the standoff underneath like that, and you can just continue to tighten this down as you wish. It's going to make a pretty strong grip, and we will make sure that you sorry, I know my hand's getting in the way there. Make sure that you get that down all the way and get the other one down all the way, and you will have this fastened. All right, now for the rest of the remaining screws, we're going to use 8mm. So we're going to put one here. Again, make sure you have your endurance ready because this is really a tight fit. But like I said, it takes all the movement out, all the accidental movement out. So you'll have one 8mm here, and then we'll do them with the rest. I think I actually have I may try to speed this up a little bit for you guys by using just see if this will work. Oh, much easier to at least get it done for the video. 1, 2. Three. All right, now I wanted to put these in there, so let me just loosen this a little bit. Let me get this one. All right, because I want to put the camera mount in to show you guys. If you're not going to use your camera mount, then I'll show you to put these ones in. Just get them set. See if I can fit this in here without having to take it all back off. All right, there's one. And there's the second one. And those will fit perfect in their slots to hold them in place. All right, and then you just fasten it back down. So if you're going to be using these, they're really good. They're going to be real handy to use, and they're going to stay pretty sturdy there. And then I'll go ahead and just put the last 8mm screws in. Okay, and all I'm going to do is come back in here and tighten this one up, and I'll use my needle nose for that just because this is such a tight fit. I need this spacer to not move. That's not going to work. Let me use this. So we need this to basically drop down, and we will get this all situated here. And there you go. Now, you won't need the needle nose. I did that because I am trying to fit in different things. But basically, here's your frame. So that is the Diablo. Let me see if I can get a picture of that for you guys. Here, I'll switch cameras. Let me do this. Okay, so here's your Diablo frame. Everything's set inside. All your cameras are locked in. You've got your back plate here. You've got your standoffs here, and then don't forget you got your bottom plate there. So that's basically it. We are going to use 18 millimeters on the top, 8 millimeters throughout the rest, and then you've got your colored screws on the bottom there. So that's pretty much how you put this together, guys. I hope that helped a lot. It's not really hard. I'm just trying to help you guys out and show you guys how it works, okay? If you need any help or you need any questions, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, Tarek@CycloneFPV.com. The frame is online right now, but I've got to adjust the pricing to show you the new pricing levels that we have. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.